Hello there and welcome back. We're about to embark on the second Zerg mission, Egression. So in the last mission we were charged with defending a chrysalis from some Terran I say Terran invaders, we were the invaders really, from some remnants of the Terran Confederacy on the surface of Tarsonis. So we successfully achieved that, and now we have to see what the Overmind has planned for us next.
And so long as my prize remains intact, I shall remain pleased. Thus its life and yours shall be made as one. As it prospers, so shall you, for you are part of the swarm. If ever your flesh should fail, that flesh shall be made anew. That is my covenant with all cerebrates. Now you have grown strong enough to bear the rigors of warp travel with the swarm. Thus we shall make our exit from this blasted world and secure the chrysalis within the hive cluster upon the planet Char.
Remnants of the protoss fleet still linger within this planet's orbit. They will attempt to block our exodus at every turn.
My brood shall aid you, cerebrate, should you require assistance.
So, in the last mission we found out we were a very recently created cerebrate, and we've been clearly very, very, very young, and now it seems as a cerebrate we've grown large enough to be able to go through warp travel, so FTL travel. The interesting thing there, which was sort of well, it was said directly, but it was said in a very roundabout way. Basically, when a cerebrate dies, the Overmind can resurrect it and just bring it straight back to life. I don't know if the process is instant, but it's very quick. So that's a key important thing. So in theory, we cannot be killed. So anyway, let's see what happens next. So, yeah. In this mission we're going to be introduced to the lair and lair tech, and last mission I mentioned talking about sort of macro hatcheries. It feels like we've been given one now. What we are going to need is some Vespene gas, which we will find over here. And here are the hunter killers, which have been provided to us by Dagoth, the Tiamat brood. Yep, that is the same Tiamat as, for those of you who are familiar with Dungeons and Dragons. And Tiamat is actually just a mythical dragon anyway. And we also get an introduction to the Mutalisk, which are lovely, lovely things. They are Zerg flyers. They're basically like giant worms with wings that fire things called glaive worms, which are like ricocheting projectiles. You'll get to see those plenty in this mission, because I'm going to build a load of Mutalisks because they are cool. Let's get an extractor down. Let's get a sunken colony for defense. These hunter killers are extremely powerful. What I am going to do, that is our chrysalis. We can move that round with a drone. So if I bring a drone up here, we'll see, first of all,
Do with my minions as you will, cerebrate. They will serve you unquestioningly. Go now and bring swift wrath to all who would oppose the swarm.
Dagoth, I was sort of under the impression, and these are completely expendable. They are hero units, but they are completely expendable. Obviously, as you would expect, Zerg sort of have a slightly different conception of hero units to some extent. I'm actually going to move those. Kite the Zealot a little bit. I didn't actually see him coming in quite quickly enough, but it's okay, the Zergling survived. Oh, Zerg naturally heal over time, which is one thing I know I didn't mention last mission. Right, those. Right, I'm going to set that rally point there. This is going to be my hatchery for for soldiers, and this can be my one for workers, is the rough idea I'm thinking. So yeah, we can carry this chrysalis around. Unfortunately, if the drone dies, it doesn't actually matter all that much, because the chrysalis will just get dropped, I believe. Not. I'm pretty sure once or twice playing this mission I've had the drone die and it does just drop it. I'm going to want to upgrade to the lair soon. Now, what buildings have I already got? I've already got a spawning pool, which is necessary to get to the lair. I would very much like a hydralisk den. And to build more mutalisk, we need the lair as well. So, for those of you interested in the background, basically the Zerg lava is kind of almost like a stem cell. It's encoded with the base genetic Zerg material, and then each of these buildings somehow contributes to the Zerg base in such a way that it allows these lava access to the DNA necessary to mutate into the next life form. Now we've got quite a trip to that geyser there, so I'm actually going to put another drone in the gas. We certainly do require more minerals. So now I've built a hydralisk den. These lava have access to hydralisk DNA. And what the Zerg did, again, similar to what the Tyranids do in 40k, is they kind of extracted, somehow, the DNA from creatures. The Zerg are kind of like parasites. And they would burrow into creatures and take control of them and sort of absorb their, aspects of their DNA for use. So when we get to build this spire, that will give us access to the Zerg flyer units. Two important ones, the Mutalisk and the Scourge. The Scourge is very important. It's a very high-powered suicide unit, although I will admit I don't use them as much. They are very powerful, they are very good, but it's just one of those units I can't sort of quite grok. But yeah, I'm actually going to look at throwing another hatchery down soon enough. We've got some Zerglings, they've got Zergling speed, we can run them around. Let's research Burrow so we can have them as scouts. I didn't mean to put a rally point over there. When these are burrowed, you can actually have them as burrowed scouts. Right. So that's going to be quite an unpleasant attack, but we'll weather it just fine. In fact, let's stick, just to prevent that happening again, let's stick a creep colony. So, creep colony, and then we can turn that into a sunken colony. Mutalisks are just fine. In fact, what we can do now is we can get a spire.
We require more minerals.
Well, once we've got 200 minerals. And I'm going to put that, I'll put that there.
Evolution complete.
Let's get these drones mining as well. And let's get this Zergling scouting. Now it can actually burrow, so I can have it as almost like a warning. You can use them to sort of almost get yourself map vision. Now, if I'd have burrowed that there, it would have died because the detector would still have seen it and attacked it. Actually, feel like a evolution chamber would be a good shout, but I do also want to get an a hatchery up so that these drones are not having to go nearly as far as they were before. So I could probably put that there. I think I still need a few more drones. You can actually select lava from from there as well, which is sometimes a better idea to do, especially if you've got your hatcheries hotkeyed into different places. Right, I'm going to make these two. This can be my drone hatchery now, so I'll put drones over there. Definitely want to get some of these hydralisks upgrades. I changed the rally point while the Zerg were hatching, so didn't mean to do that. So I can cancel the morph. I'll get the money back. You do lose the Zerg though, which can be quite a penalty. Let's get some more Zerglings. And I will want to start massing Mutalisks at one point as well soon. I'm going to leave these here for now. Although it probably wouldn't hurt actually to get another creep colony. Oh, although I don't want you to do that while you're holding minerals. Actually, I did say I wanted an evolution chamber. Let's put that here. There's actually a temptation to get two because I can afford it, just so I can have two upgrades going at a time. Now, who's going towards to make that? Good. I thought for a moment it was one who was carrying some resources. We can also upgrade Zerg flyer attacks and abilities here. Muscular augments we can make use of soon. I've never actually tried to build a building with something that's carrying a chrysalis. I'm curious. I'm just going to see what happens. Ah, got excess drones in there. Ha! I think you lose the chrysalis. Right. Well, that's good to know. Well, it seems we had an attack coming in there anyway, so probably a good thing I happened to save just before that. So if I go and burrow this Zergling here, I need to keep an eye on the minimap. I should see any kind of enemies coming in. Do we want Mutalisks yet? See, Scourge, very cheap. Well, very, very cheap for the most part, but they are quite heavy on the gas. Yeah. So I think another creep colony is actually probably not a bad idea, just to defend my mineral line. Let's get a Mutalisk, sorry. So there's the Scourge. We're not actually going to have a ton of use for it this mission, or at least I don't think we will. They've got a very short line of sight, so you really want to be sending them somewhere you already have vision to. So they suicide in, not enough to actually kill, but enough to do a fair amount of damage. But thus far, it's probably better just using. Put those in control group 2. Thus far, it's probably better just to use the Hydralisks to deal with scouts. When you get things like carriers that you're fighting, Scourge can be horrible against them because they're very cheap for a lot of damage. What I'm probably going to do is focus on Mass Hydra, just because I'm a little more confident using those. Again, it's not that the Zerglings are rubbish, not by any stretch of the imagination, they're just... So I quite like to focus on Hydras and Mutalisks, and actually I think could have taken those drones out quite a while ago because they weren't doing anything to mining there. Right, I'll start this. The damage upgrades take a very, very long time. Let's get this damage upgrade going as well. What I do want to do soon is get rid of that. What's it called? Photon cannon. Right, I definitely want to get the Hydralisk speed. I thought those Hydralisks were moving very slowly. Let's move you down and see if you can see anything else. So there's actually quite a few routes through this mission. Now, I believe that burrowing animation can get interrupted. I think we're actually okay to set all of our... and when that animation gets interrupted, they don't burrow properly. Right, let's go in and attack with these. Now, I can't actually attack move while I've got a burrowed Zergling selected, so that's one thing to watch out for, micro-wise. The Zerglings have a very, very fast attack speed, so they are not, you know...
Our forces are under attack.
They're not to be underestimated. As you would expect, they have no anti-air ability, though. Zerglings cannot leap up into the sky. As hilarious and adorable as that would be. Right, so we're going to need quite a few Hydralisks to clear out that. Definitely, we can get another one there. And actually, yeah, as I suspected, we're not going to be far off needing an Overlord. The Hunter Killers are very powerful, but I plan to use them more on sort of the next push. In fact, let's make that control group 1. You can see he's actually healing up over time. Now, having high ground against this photon cannon should definitely help deal with it. You can actually kite the zealots quite well. And leaving a Zergling with one, or a Hydralisk, or any kind of Zerg with one health can actually be quite bad. Let's make you control group 3. I think I want 2 control groups of Hydralisks. And it certainly won't hurt to have a Mutalisks around. In fact, it might be good to use them against the Zealots, because the Zealots can't do anything to them. You can see the Hydralisks hit pretty hard. Right, let's get you. You can be in control group. You can be control 2. Add you to control group 2. Get some more Hydralisks here. Probably getting.
We require more minerals.
And we got some Zerglings at home. In large numbers, a bunch of Mutalisks could easily take on a single Dragoon. Now, whether 3 is enough, I'm not sure. With a little bit of micro, probably. Let's see. Actually, I'm going to go back to base and get another Overlord, just so we've got that bit of a supply buffer. There are ways to get the Mutalisks really close together, using sort of various pathfinding things. Yeah, I think they'll be fine against 2 Dragoons. I'm going to circle in background, so he's not getting targeted. Which wasn't done as efficiently as possible, but it's okay. And let's get you as a bit of a scout. Zerglings, very, very effective and powerful scouts. You can go in control group 2. You, Overlord, over there. You can go in control group 3. You can go in 2 as well. Now we can pull. And not only are the attacks quite quick and powerful anyway, but I should have been researching that carapace upgrade while that was going on. Let's focus on the melee. Let's get that flyer attack. Not melee, sorry, missile. So we're going to need some more Hydralisks. Hydralisks actually sounds expensive, 75 minerals and 25 gas, but very cost effective. So, we've broken that cordon quite easily. Now what I'm going to try and do is bring some Overlords over. Let's see. Get a couple of Mutalisks.
We require more minerals.
Are there still? So, those Mutalisks can deal with that Zealot, probably, quite easily. Let's get this over. There is an upgrade for the speed of the Mutalisks, and that is very nice. So we've got some more Mutalisks there. You can go in control group 1 because control group 1 is looking a bit low. Definitely get some more Hydralisks there. How many? So control group 1 and 2 both
Require more minerals.
could do with 3 more Hydralisks. You can be a Hydralisk. Let's get 1 more.
We require more minerals.
You can go in control group 1. So we've got control group 1 there. You can go in control group 2, as can you. Ah, I think there's another to go in control group 2. Speaking of which, where is control group 2? So 2 over there, 1 over there. Scout hide with the Overlord. Let's get some more Overlords as a backup.
Our forces are under attack.
Here we go. So he can actually go in that group 1.
Our forces are under attack.
We can get a load more Hydralisks.
Require more minerals.
Go. In fact, where's the Mutalisks? Have we got any more Mutalisks? No, we've not.
Are under attack.
So let's pull these 2 out. There we go. Now there's a Dragoon.
Our forces are under attack.
From the low ground. Let's get these in here. Trying to assassinate my overlords.
Our forces are under attack. Revolution complete.
Ah, they have gone off on their own and decided to attack into. That was probably, yeah, I probably positioned them to attack the overlord. And what they'll have instead done is the Dragoon, sorry, and what they'll have instead done is try to move around to get a decent shot. But we've got that Dragoon cleared. Sometimes what they'll do is they'll respond as well by going after units who seem to be attacking your units. Control group 2, you need 2 more Hydralisks. So 2's there, 1's here. I wouldn't mind taking out that. Let's get some more Mutalisks as well. Mutalisks.
We require more minerals.
These can probably actually take out the.
Our forces are under attack.
They certainly are, but I think our forces are doing okay. It's nice when you get the pneumatized carapace upgrade for the overlords. It makes them a lot faster, and that's a lot nicer. These should be able to take the photon cannon fairly easily. They do quite a lot of damage. There we go. Yes, we certainly do. These have got these zealots cleared up. Just need to watch out that they're not going to run into an ambush. Right, we're going to have to be careful with the minerals. Watch these don't run into any Dragoons. That would be extremely frustrating. They could take 1 or 2 Dragoons quite easily, but...
Our forces are under attack.
Ah, so our overlord. So that's the route round, so we need to get through that Zerg base, that Protoss base. If it was a Zerg base, it'd probably be a little bit easier to get through, assuming they were on our side. Right, let's get some Zerglings as well, I think.
We require more minerals.
And then this, which will give 0, which is very easy to reach across the keyboard. Let's... Carapace, I think, is the tempting one, to be honest.
Our forces are under attack.
The Zergling got a little bit close there. Ah! Lost that overlord. That's frustrating. Right, I think you can take the Dragoon.
Our forces are under attack.
Let's push it.
Our forces
You guys push in as well. Let's have the Mutalisk run in and sort of run interference. Do some sort of snipes. You can see their attacks ricocheting around. And then what we can do is we can bring the drone all the way up here because we've cleared the way. There are some Protoss down there. We don't actually need to engage them. Certainly can do. Certainly not forbidden. Our forces are actually looking fairly healthy.
Our forces are under attack.
I mean, a lot of the Zerglings have died, but that's quite normal. Let's attack into there just for the for the fun of it. Mass hydralisks are very powerful. There we go.
Your first jump through warp space could be unsettling.
And there we go, we are ready to make the first jump through warp space. So, there we go. Or at least our first jump through warp space, not the first jump through warp space. Thank you for watching, I hope you've enjoyed that, and join me next mission, where we will be seeing where we're going. Thank you, and bye.